Hey, it's the Rican, and this today here. This is what I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about the infamous Alex Jones, and he's Infowars and his other entities are filing for bankruptcy in the U.S. courts because obviously everyone knows about the whole Sandy Hook and him calling it a hoax, and um, he actually tried. This is the whole thing. This is the funny thing. I'm gonna go. What I find the funniest thing is that the people who are cheering this on, like I'm gonna show you in a little bit. I'm gonna go here on Twitter so you can see some of the people cheering it on. Some people are mad because he's using it to, like they say that he's gonna screw over the family again, and it's like um he offered to settle with them and they chose not to. And this is the whole thing. Sometimes with lawsuits, you have to understand, you have to weigh the negatives and positives. And if you go too high, that's, and especially with a company that doesn't have as much money as Time Warner with CNN, or the Washington Post with Jeff Bezos, which I'll point out. What it's going to point out is that you know you're never going to see that money because of the fact that uh people like this don't necessarily have the endless amounts of money that a CNN, like I said, these other companies have. um but there's people cheering this on. They're like, yes, Alex Jones isn't going nowhere. Okay. This lawsuit's been going on for a while, and um even with this bankruptcy is to protect him and his companies. um so he's going to be able to, people cheering it on, saying that he's going to go bankrupt and he's going to go, he's going to go away. Is Yes, no, that's not going to happen. But the same people cheering this on are the same people who were against this. They're like, oh, how could these people sue? Or like, they're saying Rittenhouse can't sue, and we'll see what happens with Rittenhouse. But the Nicholas Salmon, he he settled, um and rightly so. I mean, um this kid was, I mean, defamed all across the media, and you could, he settled with CNN, Washington Post, NBC. So there's a lot of news outlets he settled with. But what's going on here is that um the families didn't want us. This is the whole thing. They wanted blood. I get it. They were upset. um but at the end of the day, now they may not see no money because the fact that they wanted to put them out of business, which the people were cheering about that. You'll see the people cheering about that on Twitter, um when they could have just taken the money. um why, like I said, people wanted to put Alex Jones out of business. And say what you want to say about Alex Jones. He's um there's a lot of things he's been wrong about, but what the media doesn't tell you about is all the things he's been right about. And they'll make fun of him, and here, all the news websites call him, far right. And it's like, so does that mean you're far left, voiders? Because if you're calling him far right, what does that make you? You're not middle of the road. Same thing with CNN and all these other news outlets that are calling him far right. So you guys far left, because you guys aren't center, even though you guys pretend to be neutral. You guys aren't. So where does that leave everything? And um, so with this going on, like I said, he's not going nowhere. Alex Jones, everyone, Alex Jones went from a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, which even here I was reading on Twitter some 9/11 group complaining that he co-opted the movement. And it's like, you could say he co-opted, you could say he opened up um, people to the possibility. Um, but yeah, this, he's someone. Um, he's a personality. He's a news personality. a media personality, however you want to portray it. Um, but he's been what, um, 25, 30 years doing this. And the fact that they're trying to make him bankrupt, they're trying to shut him up, mm, shows that he's he, for as bad as some of his conspiracy theories have been, there's some stuff that like they make fun of him about the gay frogs, and they'll talk about it here. Where was it? I saw one of these Twitter stories where they said, um hold up, which one, where was it? I remember it was a picture. Hold up. And they're talking about one with the gay frogs, turning frogs gay, but really what it is that the chemicals in the water were um, basically feminizing frogs, and some of them were even kind of, I think it was messing with their development, and male frogs were getting female genitalia, just because of the um, or the pharmaceuticals in the water, because people don't, they don't talk about, let's say, for example, they're finding estrogen in the water because of all the women that are on birth control. But you can see here, that's what they're so let's see, let's start here from the, I just searched Alex Jones on Twitter, and you could see for yourself some of these stories. So someone here, Alex Jones filed for bankruptcy so he doesn't have to pay the families of Sandy Hook victims because he's a vile POS. Lock that bloated conspiracy vomiting trader up for the rest of it. It's like, okay, for so you want to lock him up for the rest of his life for something he said. I deleted the last tweet after learning that the only reason Alex Jones filed for bankruptcy for InfoWars was to avoid accountability for the damage he caused to the Sandy Hook victims. Let's see. Alex Jones, InfoWars officially files for bankruptcy following the Sandy Hooks. Here's someone cheering it on. And, the dangerous conspiracy theorist Alex Jones shouldn't be allowed to avoid paying the Sandy Hook families and escape legal judgment by cowardly filing for bankruptcy. He needs to be ruined. This person put Alex Jones, here, can I get a hip hip hooray? Infowars bankrupt morally and financially. Eligible to file bankruptcy, the scumbag who tortured, okay, not eligible to file. Young people crushed by, okay, of course. See, it's all political. You see, he is occupied conspiracy, uh, far right conspiracy theorist website Infowar files for bankruptcy due to the slew of lawsuits tied to Jones' disgusting lies about the Sandy Hook shooting. Um, so you can see um, all the hate. Someone here put "Long live Alex Jones." Um, so the problem with this and what goes on with this is the media's out for blood. That's what they're out for, and um, they're out for blood when it comes to this stuff. The media is they hate him. They hated, like, let's say, for example, he was already in the mainstream, but he went on Trump when he in 2015 and 2016 went on Alex Jones show when he was running for president. Um, and people hated that stuff, and here we are. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't see Alex Jones going anywhere. I don't see it. He has friends in media. Love. You either love Alex Jones or you hate Alex Jones. There's really no middle ground. Um, I'll credit him when it comes to me, where he introduced me to people like Ron Paul, that woke me up out of the whole left right paradigm. When you saw someone like him, where he had that reputation, he was called Doctor No in the Senate, in the House, just because the fact that he voted no on everything. Which most of the bills nowadays, they're bad bills. So he voted no. It's like, oh well, we're gonna put money in your district, extra money for you so you could vote yes. And he'd still vote no because it's like, no, I that's the problem with what's going on nowadays. It's just, like I said, Ron Paul woke me up and it's like, yeah, they bribe you with your own money. And so what's going on here with, like I said, Alex Jones wanted to settle, same way as CNN and NBC and all these networks, they wanted to settle. I think more so why these news outlets wanted to settle is because they didn't want to get into the discovery phase. Where Alex Jones settled, they went into discovery phase, and there's nothing different. They found out that we all know. But here we are. He's filing for bankruptcy, and we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And like I said, I don't see him going anywhere because they could sue his company. They could bankrupt that company, and he could just make a new LLC and start. Kind of, you could say start over with a new company, and Alex Jones is still a name, so it doesn't matter what these you could bankrupt Infowars or Prison Planet, and he could just make something else. People will still watch his stuff. People will still buy his products. He has a fan following, um, and no matter what all the people who hate him do, you know, he's always going to be infamous, and people are always going to support him. That's it. Um, so let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I don't think that I think the bankruptcy will go through. As long as the debts are legit. And some of the debt that he owes now is going to be the lawsuits to these families. So, but do you think he's going to go away? Like I said, he has plenty of friends in media. Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, Blair White. Um, so all these podcasts, people want to. I'd have him on. Shoot, I wouldn't care. I'd put him. If he'd come on my channel, I'd love to have him on. I mean, um, I don't watch his stuff. I used to watch his stuff when I was younger, and you could say I kind of outgrew it, but I did watch his stuff. He used to have interesting guests on, like I said, Ron Paul, um, Jesse Ventura, before Jesse Ventura went kind of straight. Um, and so he has people on that other people won't have. And I remember hearing economists like Peter Schiff on there. He had different people. He had some famous people who like to watch him on his show. So he's entertaining. Whether you can hate him or not, you can hate him, but he's still entertaining. Even to the haters watch his stuff, and because he's still entertaining. He's a character. Um, he's a larger than life character, and that's why I said, regardless of whatever happens, they can't cancel him. He may have, and this is the irony: if they hadn't kicked him off Twitter and all these sites, he might not have had to declare bankruptcy because thanks to these channels, he was still making money. But after they, deplatformed him and everything, now he makes less money. So now he has a legitimate excuse. So you people who wanted him canceled, guess what? Uh you helped with the bankruptcy because now his business is smaller because you people wanted him off all these platforms. So he had to stay on his own, but he still has a following. He didn't need Twitter to have a following. So anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think on social media, and either like and subscribe on either YouTube or Rumble, and interact with me on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, all of those sites. All right. With that being said, have a good one.